Racexotics Day 3. Let's hit the road. We don't know yet what stop number 1 is, but we're here, so we'll find out in a second. All right, now this is what I'm talking about. The helicopter for filming purposes. Whole bunch of very, very beautiful supercars. This is gonna be a very, very good day. As now we will have put about 10-15,000 kilometers on the McLaren by the time we get home. And it's one of those where, unfortunately, the channel is not yet to a point where eating a whole bunch of money on a car is a good idea. And I like to keep it fresh. I never really keep many of my cars long. Let me know down below what you guys think. If we should get something else, and if so, what should it be? Because funny enough, I really do like the AMG GTRs. It's definitely less exotic than some of the stuff like this. I don't know, something like this, probably not with 2 turbos on the back, but something like this would also be an option. I don't know if I want to go that route though. You see too many of them, they feel a little bit too cookie cutter. Like even a Huracan at this point feels quite cookie cutter. See a lot of them through work, spend a lot of time with them. But an R8, to me at least, unless a guy is gonna get a really good deal on a cheap one and be able to use it through the winter and whatever else, probably not worth it. But, that being said, V8 R8, gated manual, winter beater, does kind of go together. Let us know in the comments down below, what do you think we should get next? And or should we just keep the McLaren for a while longer and keep playing with that? So many options. Or we just be like Sean, buy a GTR, break the GTR, and then constantly make jokes about not having a GTR. Even though he does indeed have a GTR. Will say too, I don't know a ton about what this even is, but it is very, very cool. Like, see this? Kind of like our car. It's got an active air brake, which is really, really cool. And I don't know how durable it is, but you can see it. Like when these rods push it and it flips up, it looks very, very crazy. It's all sorts of fun stuff. We got the twin turbo C8. This, absolutely ludicrous. It's quite funny. If you like the American stuff a lot, I talk a lot of crap about C8s. I'm just not a Corvette guy. I think there's way too many of these on the road. You see way too many of these. It's just not my shtick. But if you want mid-engine, cheap, fast, like you can pick up one of these cars, just a 1LT spec, still have the Targa roof like this one where the roof can come off. I don't know what the turbo kit's worth, but I'm sure it's 10, 15, 20K to get that all set up. But I mean, if you think about that, it's 10, 15, 20K to get the turbo set up, all going. And you can start getting these cars, especially a more base spec, for quite cheap. Like, at least in Canadian dollars, which trying to convert to bald eagles is very, very difficult for my stupid brain. But at least in Canadian dollars, this is like an 80K car. Like you can get one of these starting at about 80. And if you want a super high spec, super low K one, you're around or just over $100,000 Canadian. Which, when you think of that, is like, I don't know, probably 50, 60, 70K American. Go get a turbo setup. It is really cheap for what this car is. Whether I like what this car is, that's a personal opinion, and that's a different story. But I don't know, that is a very, very cheap way to get a very, very fast mid-engine, new, nice car with Apple CarPlay and modern amenities. Pretty hard to argue with. It gets even funnier, because in contrast, this car, the guy driving this car actually went to jail yesterday because he got caught doing a lot faster than he should and needed to get himself bailed out. I don't know, I do really like these. I definitely would not get a convertible. Outside of that, I don't know, I do think kind of the GTS or the GTR is the move. I know we just had a GTC at work and that was awesome, but in my opinion, I really like the impractical stuff. and the GTR is the one I'd want to have. A GTS is almost $100,000 cheaper than a GTR. And that is something that's worthwhile to pay attention to. The GTC isn't. It kind of falls in the middle, and if I'm going to spend $140,000, $150,000 Canadian to get a GTC, and that would be a newer GTC, but a GTC, I'd rather just get a GTR. Ooh. Or that guy. Same color car. We got Jake's C7 Z06 as well. A very, very cool car. Again, not a huge Corvette guy, but funny enough, I like the C7s significantly better than the C8s. And this is a very, very cool spec. The carbon ceramics, the burnt orange, carbon fiber everywhere. It's a lot of fun. And Kyle's Huracan. Very, very nicely spec 720 Spider. That is not a cheap car. And I do quite like this spec as well. Like, I like brown interiors. I don't know, with the blue, feel like a more Alcantara based sport looking interior versus the luxury looking interior would be fun, but I do really, really like this color of blue. And this car's got a ton of carbon on the outside. Right here, this right here is the ultimate dream car for this guy. Of course, they're parked right next to it, but I don't know. The only thing, it would be cool to have a Roadster, so you could have a roof that comes off, especially because it is not a huge sacrifice with those cars to have it. But I mean, I don't know, that is absolutely gorgeous. I do really like the green and purple. I think it's a lot, and it's a touch too much for some, but I love it, love it, love it. Initially, this is the color I would want on one of these cars. Lately, Lamborghini has been putting Viola Parsife on a lot more cars, and I think I would kind of rather have the Oro Ilios, which I think is absolutely sick. But one way or another, it is still an absolutely drop-dead gorgeous SVJ.
How do they sound like? Oh, you thought it was Lisa? Holy fuck. That for you? Yeah, I'm getting the car.
Bro's over here hunting horses. All right, y'all. We're about to go get some pretty cool shots with the helicopter. Go do a bit of a canyon run here. So, I'm gonna set up the GoPro on the exterior of the car, get some cool stuff. I'll join you guys at the next stop. Well, we made it. What do you think?
We made her.
We made her. How was the rally? What's your initial impression?
I'll go past the Martin badge though up there.
Yeah.
So good.
It's true. Little Porsche. Let's see. Feel really bad for Damon.
That's nice.
Who's probably nice and stuck up there, but I'm sure he's doing a lot of meet and greeting. Go see. We'll go try and find a couple of the friends. This place is absolutely packed. Had a ton of fun. This has been a very, very cool rally. Been a lot less mileage covered than we anticipated. We only ended up covering, I don't know, about 1,000 kilometers between the couple days, which is significantly less than the last couple. And funny enough, we almost did twice that on our drive from Alberta to here, but that's okay, because we also have another long drive back and some more driving yet to do. So for the time being, let's go say hey to some people, go check out some cars. So what, now you definitely want to stay in town?
Free admission to strip clubs, and there's not, they get 4.
Oh shit.
They don't know he's 17.
That's funny.
But if you go in with this thing, and maybe if your mom signs it, then you can come in. See some titties for the first time.
So this car, the Marcos' car,
Right.
makes, if he's got it on E, it's on flex fuel. If he's got this car on E, it runs 1,003 horsepower. Guess how many miles it's got? He bought it with 1,700 miles 3 years ago.
Miles or kilometers?
Miles.
Miles? 50K.
110. Well, actually 113 now.
3 years?
In 3 fucking years.
Wow.
And the last
Wait, does
60.
he live in Canada? So he
Just
is
a buddy.
from Florida?
Yeah, oh yeah, he is from
Okay.
Florida. So before this rally, he drove this car from Florida up to Toronto, over across Canada to BC, and then down from BC down to Seattle, and now he's gonna road trip back home to Florida.
He has 112,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
Maybe 113 by now.
Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. Well, it's
And
funny.
It's a McLaren GT, right?
Yep. Because everybody talks shit about the McLaren stuff, about being unreliable. If you drive it and take care of it, they're not that bad.
Yeah.
Right? And like I say, at over 1,000 horsepower. And the last like 60,000 miles has been at over 1,000 horsepower. And like right now, it's currently running 700 because he doesn't have access to E, but he says he dailies it at 1,000 in Florida because he's got access to E85.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah,
That's
right?
sweet.
I don't know, this is so reset my like calculator on this shit.
Yeah.
Because my car, like I bought my car a little over a month ago, probably 2 months ago now.
Yeah.
That car has been a royal pain in the ass in all the best ways.
Really?
We sourced it from a dealership in BC.
Yeah.
And the dealership in BC, they tried to screw us. And it's because we brought it in through the dealer, but all 4 corners of the suspension needed replaced. And they directly lied about that. They're like, no, it's been checked over by McLaren, it needs nothing. So when it got here, it needed all 4 corners, and because it was a dealer-to-dealer transaction, like we'll just never do business with them again. But because it's a dealer-to-dealer, there's no like recourse.
Yeah.
You go to McLaren, at least in Canadian dollars,
Yeah.
the parts alone are $35,000 for those 4 struts. So I had them sent down to Florida. I had them rebuilt at RMT for like 6 to 7.
Oh.
And then in all the 2016 and older cars, the driveline damper is a problem, which is what's between the engine and gearbox. So I had the gearbox out of that car a couple weeks ago.
That's what you were saying earlier.
Yeah, and it's funny because if you took it to a McLaren dealer in Canada, the list of stuff I've done to that car since buying it has been approximately $85,000 worth of stuff at the dealer to replace parts and labor. I've gotten it done for about 12 to 13, but it's quite funny. So I never keep my cars long because as I'm trying to get this stuff going, it's all funded by my day job. Like that's how I'm paying for all this, even though this is the goal in so many ways. I've already put like 10,000 kilometers on that car, and I'm like, oh shit, all right, might be time to get some fun. Like get her going, chat with him, and I'm like, yeah, how many miles does this thing have? You convert it. In kilometers, that has 40,000. In kilometers, this has 180. Like,
so you're good.
Ludicrous, pretty much.
You're good. You got a while before you need to get rid of that one.
Apparently. And we'll see. It's quite funny. I still don't know. It still might end up going soon. Finish making some content, go on to the next car. At least until the content can help fund more of it. But no, this completely reset my perspective on McLarens in so many ways.
That's awesome, man. It's also the first I've ever heard of McLaren.
What's the thing?
High mileage.
Yeah, like
McLaren.
they just need to be driven. That's it. And it's shit because the resale would be so bad on this car. But that's not why he bought it. He's like, I don't care. He's like, I will just drive it until. Well, it's like I will drive it until I can't drive it any longer. That's literally what he said. Well, fair enough, dude. Gotta respect that grind.
Absolutely.
Wild, man.
Thank all of you guys for coming out. This has been awesome.
Well, that was a ton of fun. We are gonna go put an award on one of the cars in the car show that accompanies this. It was a ton of fun. We can't wait to come back and do another one here soon. Thank you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff. We'll catch you next time.